Happy New Day.
Yeah, happy new day,
Peace.
everybody.
Happy and healthy family and friends. Welcome to another episode, another grand episode of Happy New Day with Ari and Jay.
Yes, happy new day, everybody. How's everybody feeling? This is a glorious Wednesday.
Yes.
Hump day.
Yes.
Yes.
The middle of the week.
The middle of the week. Yeah, how you feeling?
I feel great.
You feel great?
Yes.
Let me see, you feel great? Yeah, you feel great. You feel great.
How do you feel?
I feel phenomenal. Life is beautiful.
Yes,
Life is wonderful. Life is just off the chain, and it gets better every single day. Every single day. Yesterday was a phenomenal day.
Yesterday was nice.
Yeah, we got a chance to do an ear candling for an amazing couple. Oh my God, they are so beautiful. I learned more in that time that we spent with them than, just the 48 years of togetherness. Yeah, shouts out to the Gibsons, blessings to y'all. Yeah, God, we loved and enjoyed the energy exchange. And you got a chance, do that ear candling and
always a pleasure.
That was a beautiful. I could see Miss Gibson, she's always glowing, but when she came, I could feel it. I can tell that she had an amazing release in the experience, and then just to sit down and fellowship with her and Mr. Gibson, that was just beautiful, and all the nuggets and. In case you hadn't figured out, we're real big on relationships and longevity in relationships and such. And so anytime we get a chance to come across a couple that's still happy and loving on each other after quite some time, we always got to ask the question, what's the secret sauce? What made your relationship pop? That after 48 years, y'all still. Good. Yeah, because I run into so many people, especially my clients, female clients, they're unhappy within their situations. And, many of them are single and whatnot. And most of the, brothers that I come across, they may be married, but they got one foot out the door. And so when we come across folks that's just genuinely just loving on each other and, not to say every day was the greatest day and they, that type of thing. But the fact that they were, when you come into that space, it's a loving environment. They didn't raise their children. They looking for, having their grandbabies out and, they're in that next chapter. And I'm just like, okay, well, what y'all do? How'd y'all do that? And so, just to hang out with them and just I feel enhanced in, the space that we're in, because in this lifetime, we've only been together for a little bit over a year. And so to see somebody that's been doing it for 48, and married for 41, it's just like, what?
How'd y'all do that?
Yeah, how'd y'all do that? And they just, those delightful, loving, just cool, enjoying life. And I'm just looking like, when we talk about relationship goals, that right there, that really, it made my day for sure. It made my day for sure. Yeah.
It's something to look forward to, There's an epidemic of singlehoodness.
Oh yeah, that cancel culture.
Single, everybody's single. Everybody wants to be single, and to see that, even how'd you stay together for 5 years? No, that's 48 years. That's dedication. That's purpose. That's intention. That's pure love. Unconditional.
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
it was great.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah. So I feel inspired after our interaction yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. I really do. There should be a book on longevity. I know there are, but there needs to be a new book on just longevity and relationships with the, a tantra twist to it, or
got thrown in the tantra
oh,
now.
no,
You got to have some tantra in life.
Everything's better with tantra.
Okay.
Oh, that should be a shirt now. Everything's better with tantra.
Okay, y'all heard it here.
Sprinkle a little bit of tantra on it. Hey, can we copyright a video? Hey, everything's better with tantra. I'm making a shirt like that. I'm saying it right now. What's the time? It's 9:13 Eastern Time. Yes. Everything's better with tantra. Let's sprinkle it. Whew. Yeah. But anyways, yesterday was phenomenal. Yeah, and I had a magnificent meeting, and some things that come as far as our teaching platform here. And building out the studio here as well. So that information will be coming out real within the next few days or so. So be on the lookout for that, because we got some major things on the horizon as far as being able to expand, our abilities to teach and have people come in and actually have classes here on site. And we've got a tremendous amount of space to build out a classroom and a studio, as well as house our offices here. And so we're made some great headway into making that happen yesterday. So we'll talk about that meeting as things solidify later this week. So that being said, what is today's topic, baby? Baby. Don't you forget my number.
Manifesting.
Yeah, I manifest.
Manifesting.
What's that? How do I manifest? How to manifest your dreams into reality. How to manifest your dreams into reality. Yeah, that's what we're looking at today.
Okay.
Yeah, happy new day, Mom. It was great to see you.
Welcome,
Thank you for joining.
welcome.
I see something resonating with you. Going deep within. What's going on?
Gratitude. Gratitude breeds manifestation.
Yeah, that's like the soil, the water.
Yes. And yes, go ahead.
No, I said the soil, the water and the soil for the flower bed of manifestation. Yes. Gratitude.
You guys ever notice if you have a kid, and I know in the classrooms they have the board and they have the stickers. You get a sticker if you do something right in the class. The kid that gets to stand at the front of the line, he's proud and he wants to be better the next day and the next day and the next day. Why is that? Because he's been uplifted and complimented. So that drives him or her to keep on, because he has the praise report giving to his parents. And that showing of appreciation, like I see you, that appreciation that gives incentive. It doesn't have to be anything physical, but it gives the incentive. Oh, it gives an esteem. To a person.
Right.
Yeah, and having gratitude, it brings more. Even saying thank you or being grateful for a gesture. Right. I appreciate you for doing what you do. That's true. Yeah. I do appreciate you for what you do.
I appreciate you.
And
what you do. My secret sauce.
Oh. Yeah. Does it go there?
Oh, everything's better with us.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I like that shirt too.
Yes. So having gratitude, and actually, it's a commandment to have gratitude, no matter what. no matter what. That's 2 Thessalonians 5:18, where it says, no matter what, regardless, have gratitude.
Okay.
There's more commandments. It's not just 10 commandments. They're sprinkled throughout the whole book, but that's one of them. Have gratitude regardless.
Yeah. Hey, Deborah, how you doing?
Peace.
Yeah,
Yes.
healthy,
Thank
healthy,
you.
healthy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
And it feels good to have gratitude. To have the mind on the yes axis, knowing that everything's going to be working out in your favor along the road, in the journey, taking notes along the way. And staying present.
Yeah.
We talk about being present so many
Oh
times.
no, present is everything. Yeah, that's what we have.
To be present is a present.
Absolutely. So, are you happy with your current reality? Is the life that exists for you right now the life that you really, really, really want? Are you happy in your current situation? Do you live the life that you feel you deserve? Do you even believe that you deserve a good life? I know that might sound kind of crazy, but believe it or not, a lot of folks, they don't even believe that they deserve a really good life. They have like this self-persecution type mentality, like, especially if they're dwelling in the past. That's something to be aware of. The subconscious has a tendency, especially if we have limiting beliefs, our subconscious can limit our abilities to really enhance and grow in the future. You know, because a lot of times consciously we'll say things like, oh, I want $1 million, or I want, security, or I want, all these nice things materialistically or spiritually, or, I want. But internally, subconsciously, we don't believe we deserve it. And so a lot of us, I was guilty of this forever. Yeah, that coming from a scarcity mentality, from the way I was brought up, and not actually consciously being aware of what was going on with me, what had happened to me until I got into my 40s. And then I started remembering the memories of what had happened as a child. But subconsciously, I was sabotaging. I didn't think I deserved the good life. I didn't think I deserved to be happy. I didn't think I deserved, wealth and riches and all that other good stuff. I didn't think I deserved abundance. I operated from a position of lack, a position of a poverty mentality. And so a poverty consciousness mentality doesn't necessarily mean you're broke, but it just means that you operate from a position of not having enough, always having a situation of, oh, I gotta, like a position of just lack. And that can greatly inhibit or greatly lessen your abilities to manifest what you desire from a conscious standpoint. And so, that number one hurdle is, making sure that your belief system supports what it is you desire to manifest. Because a lot of us, believe it or not, we're always manifesting. Every single thing that we've thought, every single thing that we've said, and every single thing that we've done becomes the grand culmination of what we're experiencing today is a grand culmination of all those things wrapped together. And so when you look at like what your life looks like now, when we look at what our lives look like now, it's the grand sum of all of that. And so where we are in this moment right here is a result of what we manifested. And so when you look around and you're like, okay, and a lot of us walk around. I mean, at one time, I was like, man, I don't like my life. I don't like what's around me. I feel like I'm in a rut. This is just not working. And and when you understand that everything that exists within us today is because of what we thought, what we've done, and what we've said, everything comes from the power of our voice. And we know whatever we speak to, we manifest that. And so we're constantly manifesting. Whatever we think about constantly, that's what we're manifesting. And so we manifest whatever it is that our dominant thoughts are, our dominant actions are, our dominant doings are. And so when we hold ourselves accountable for that, because a lot of us walk around with the mentality of things just happen. Oh, that just happened to me. I just had bad luck. No. We can't, the good and the bad. We'll take claim for the good stuff real quick.
Yeah, that's easy.
Oh yeah, shoot, I just went along. Yeah, I did that. But some bad stuff happened. Everybody run like, I didn't. That was bad. Life just happened. No. We put ourselves in the positions to win. We put ourselves in the positions to lose based on what we think, do, and say. And so when that's understood, when you know better, you can do better. And then what we internalize, what we see, the environment that we set for ourselves. We all have choices. Oh yes, Mom. Yeah, accountability is key. Yeah, and the thing is, accountability for our here, our right now. Because everything is a result of everything that exists for us is a result of a decision we've made at some point or another that put us in this position right now. Yeah, and and the thing is, we talked about focus yesterday. Yeah, and so this is the next thing in that line of focusing your way into, because what we put our attention on, that's what we personify and bring more of into our life. And so if we are focusing on negativity, we're focusing on the past, we're beating ourselves up from what happened from back in the day, we just gonna get more of that.
Law of attraction.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna attract.
Law of attraction. It's real.
So it's one thing to think about it, but then you start doing and acting on it. Now it becomes habit. Now it's in your subconscious. Now you're doing it, you're not even aware of it. And so when we talk about manifestation, you want to, that dream life. One thing that worked for us was we worked backwards. And so we started off with what it was we wanted to accomplish. And then we started to backtrack and work on all the steps that led up to get to that reality that we wanted. And then every single day, we take one step towards that. We do whatever we can do during that day to achieve that reality that we want down the road. And that's about living in the present. So we know what the future is. Here's our goal. Now, how do we get to, what are the steps that we take to get to that goal? And any time that we're out of alignment with that goal, we do something that takes us to the left or to the right. It's like, hey, no, time to get back. Oh wait, we're going down the path, you get knocked off, boom, hey, I already know the path that I need to be on, so no matter what happens, we always can jump right back on that road and start and get to that goal. Yeah, and so we're speaking to this, because like yesterday, I can't wait to share it with y'all, like what we got coming up. When we talk about manifestation, yeah, yesterday was a game changer. I can't wait to share that, but not today. We still got to lock everything in, but yeah, everything is all systems go. Yeah,
and it's about being in alignment with the frequency.
Yes,
because even you can have a alpha personality type and be on a beta frequency.
Oh yeah.
And having really the art of satiation, being satisfied, you know, being cool in the middle. That works too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not getting too far up in the highs and not getting too deep in the lows. It's kind of just
Even
ride
kill.
it out. Yeah.
Even
I like it. I like it slightly. I like it a little up. You know, as you can see, I'm kind of high strung at times and whatnot. So I kind of like to go.
It
But I like
builds.
it like a little. Yeah, even kill. My even kill is kind of like going like that. Yeah.
Because gratitude breeds momentum
Yes,
to
absolutely.
bring what you want and what you desire to you. And write it
Yes.
out. Write what you want down. It really does come
Yes, absolutely.
true.
Yeah, but yeah, how to manifest your dreams into reality. If you can perceive it, you can achieve it. And we talk. You know, I want to circle back to the subconscious. Shadow work, the shadow work, going deep within, because that's the side of us we choose not to recognize, and that's the side of us that typically is what's holding us back. And so, really taking the steps to clear those shadows. One of the biggest things when we're talking about the chakras or energy spaces, the heart chakra. A lot of us have been abused, hurt, shamed, you name it, every negative thing that you could possibly think of. In women in particular, they store trauma in the womb and in the heart. And so, like, say, for instance, when I'm doing my tantra work or whatnot, the first thing I do when I'm doing my scan is to find out if there's a disconnect between a woman's throat, her heart, and then her sacral region. And once you tie those three channels together, boom, then the energy starts to flow. But usually there's a blockage in at least one of them, if not all of them. Yeah, and it never fails. And then brothers, the same thing. We experience that as well because, you know, we want to keep everything in and really, you know, like be strong, but that strength is technically a weakness because when you don't have your heart is closed off, it shuts you off to so many things. Your vibration just drops. Or not, I'm saying it doesn't drop, but it doesn't enhance the way it's supposed to. You're not as free in your space as you need to.
Yeah, and life is heavier that way. Because if your heart's blocked off, it's like walking around with a brick in your chest.
Yes. Absolutely. And so they're having that, because I remember our oldest daughter, she's a Reiki master. And when she was going through her getting set up to get her attunement or whatnot, part of that was she needed to practice on a certain number, I think 30 people or something like that. And so I, you know, of course, I supported her in that, especially being in the same space. And then she was the one that brought it to my attention. She's like, Daddy, your heart, it's blocked. You have like I sense a blockage in it. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm good. But she sensed that energetic blockage in there. And when I talked to Master Yao, my tantra instructor, he's like, yeah, if you've got a heart blockage, it's going to inhibit your ability to do the work. Now you can do it at a high level, but if your heart isn't open, it's going, like, once your heart is open, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Your ability to really, your reach and the quality of the energy that is being transferred or created for the clients. And so, and so that heart, and then it shuts you off for a lot of other things too. The heart is directly connected to your ability to earn your income. And so when we're talking about manifesting, having a closed heart inhibits a lot of things. And so for, women, the same for women as well. In particular, though, with women, because that's a woman's positive pole. That's where her energy center is the women are energy centered in their hearts. If a woman's heart is closed, it shuts down, it detaches her from her full feminineness, or her full divine femininity. It inhibits her ability to radiate that positive energy to those that are around us. It inhibits her ability to be and function in an orgasmic state. And so that's when you see a lot of women, especially by the time they get into their 40s, they're numb because their hearts are shut down because of heartache, because of pain. It's a protection. It's a protection for something that happened, back at some point in their life. Bad breakup, bad relationships with, in particular, with a parent, the opposite parent in particular, and so we become guarded. And so it protected us when we're little and young, but that childlike self of, our childlike selves aren't necessarily serving us as adults. Because as a child, you view and understand things, your level of understanding is way lower, viewing and seeing things. And so granted, it was probably, a horrible situation, but if we're still holding on to that, it's going to block our ability to really flourish and grow and exist in the world on a high level.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even being in the midst of a negative situation, remaining grateful, as weird as it may sound, it makes a difference. Go outside, listen to the birds, whatever you can do. I always say, in any moment you can go in your mind to a funeral or the park to play and swing on swings. It's your mind. That's what leads us into everything. And like I said before, choose to remain on the yes axis where everything is possible.
Yes.
And watch our words. I hear it all the time.
Ooh, that negative self-talk.
Even something as simple as I'm trying. I tried. We can get a little higher than that. Do it.
Yes.
I'm in the midst of doing this. This is what I'm seeking to do. But trying won't necessarily take you there. There's not as much momentum behind trying. So we do.
Yes.
You do. We do. We're doers. We're not triers.
Yeah. Great point. Great point.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Deborah says, how to tell if there's a blockage. There's a number of ways. Number one is doing self-examination. A lot of times we're in denial about things that are going on. A lot of times we exist in a state of being that's less than, and we've done it for so long that we don't even recognize it's a state of being in a state of lack, because it just becomes a way of life. And so, for me, like I said, I didn't know, because I'm thinking mentally, I'm good. I've been doing all this, all this spiritual work and yada, yada, yada. I'm flowing, I'm going, never.
You're never done.
Never done. No, never. And I mean, even when we talk about like the whole heart work sequence, one of my brothers in a group that we're in, he was asking about, what that looked like. And I was like, wow, dang, I've really done a lot. Yeah, but how to know, when you're doing the shadow work, that's when you're going within, going through, deep meditation and start to go through a self-analyzing, through that self-analysis of, who and what you are. That's going to show so many signs, of what that looks like, what's blocking in your life. When you look at if there's any kind of lack that exists in your life, normally for women in particular, the first two places to look at is the womb, and then the heart. The womb and the heart, and then the throat. Yeah, because a lot of many women, it's common for them to have their voice to be suppressed. They're told, be pretty and be silent type of thing.
Cute and mute.
Cute, yeah, that type of thing. And so many women don't feel they have a voice. Yeah, I mean, even to the point where, it's to their detriment because they'd rather skip, avoid a confrontation. I'm not saying everything has to be confrontational, but not everything's perceived as like, okay, I'm going to be, it's going to create a negative situation if I speak up for myself. And so I'd rather just move into a passive state of being rather than going and get what it is that I want in life or, demanding that I have, what it is that I deserve. And so that throat for women, especially when it's detached from the heart and when it's detached from the womb, it all is all part of the central channel. And so, and that's when we're talking about being orgasmic and being receptive, having those three chakras open is super important. Like, it's like the essence of being in your femininity and being able to experience. Because when we talk about orgasmicness, everybody thinks, oh, okay, a sex thing. No, it's an energetic thing. It's a way of being and existing, in the environment, in nature, in space. And then women have a ability to bring to being receptive to bringing in and manifesting things from an allowing state of being that way. And so when your heart is closed off, it blocks all that. The heart is the most important because that's the woman's, power center. That's her energy source. That's where everything begins. And so, it's a major thing. And so, actually having somebody, that does energy work, that's adept at doing energy work and reading the energy work, and, or ask your friends, people that, may be adept in the space, they can tell you. Because a lot of times, we think we're projecting what we think we're putting out, and what people receive is two different things. And so, like, their ability to be, open, like, say, for instance, I'll show you how, I'll let you know how it showed up with me. The way that I can speak on my past now without any remorse, any pain, any like inhibition, it speaks to me, my heart opening. Because prior to that, if I was holding on to that, I was still feeling the shame. It was like, I don't want nobody to know that, I was molested. I don't want anybody to know that I was beat. I don't want anybody to know, the problems and the challenges I've had, because that, because I was closed. Closed. Even before I even knew what it was, I was closed about. I was closed. And so when we're talking about manifesting, I was blocking myself off from several, in several situations, because then it created a lack. And so my heart being closed, I'd always get to this, it's like a glass ceiling. And so I would get to a certain point where we're rolling, and then that subconscious, you don't deserve this, kicks in. That subconscious, you're all these things that, I was told that I was as a child, kicks in. All these things of, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, and, and that would shut it down. Shut it down. Then, don't mention, like old relationships and stuff like that. And like, oh, I don't deserve to be happy in a relationship. I don't deserve to have. And I had an association with money in relationships. I had a challenge with that. And so in many of my relationships, it was like a self-sabotaging behavior that if I was already up and doing my thing and everything was flowing and I met somebody in that space, I had this self-sabotaging thing because it was like, there was okay, she's just with me, for the money, because I didn't deserve love. I didn't deserve, it was a limiting belief based on me protecting my heart. Yeah. And so I would get to a certain point in relationships and then boom, bail. Or I would get to certain, and even worse, I would get to certain points in relationships and subconsciously sabotage my money. That's the deepest part right there when we talk about manifestation. Yeah. And so, like I said, we're always manifesting all the time, whether we know it or not, whether we're conscious of it or not. And it's based on our dominant thought processes. It's based on what our internal beliefs are. And so, how do you know when you blocked? If you're living in a state of being that you feel lack. That's the number one way. When you're like, do you feel something's lacking in your life? Once you realize that, hey, you know what? I don't have the things that I want. And so then you start to go through a self-analysis of your thoughts. That's number one. And then you start to have a self-analysis of your emotions. So when I say thoughts, like, what is your dominant thought? When you wake up in the morning, what intentions are you setting for the day? And if you're going back and all of a sudden you shift back to the past, like, talking about something that happened years ago that brought on some trauma, and you're living in that trauma, like to the point where all right, I'm gonna touch on this one thing. There's no separation between time and space. Your mind can shift to the future, to the past, and to the present in a split second at any time. And so, have you ever felt or thought about something to the point where you thought about it and you felt like it just happened, like right now, like, ooh, like somebody did something that reminded you of something that happened in the past. It ain't got nothing to do with them. And then you felt that emotion like it was happening right in that moment. Yeah, you went from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. I mean, you see it road rage all the time. Like, is it really that serious to be cussing somebody out on the freeway because they cut you off? Or does that, what does that speak to? Because I had a past relationship, and I had a lot of past relationships, but the one in particular, when I recognized this, yeah, the triggers, Deborah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I picked up on was that we got real deep in our relationship. I mean, real tight. I mean, she opened up spaces in my heart that I didn't even know were open or that were closed. And because of that openness, I hadn't healed. It just opened up, and then boom, those triggers set in, and it was setting me off. And I'd be like, ooh, like tripping or on one, not even realizing where it was coming from. Because this is before I got to the point where I came into the understanding or the knowing that there's a mental processing of issues, and then there's an emotional processing of issues. And those emotions, once they're triggered, once they're brought to the surface, it feels like it just happened. And sometimes even feels worse. Because like when you think about when you're in relationships, 90% of the time of what we're arguing about ain't got a damn thing to do with what we're actually arguing about or what you're supposed to be mad about. You're mad. Most of the time we're upset about something that was unresolved in the past that we're trying to get out right now. Yeah, and once you really understand that, it's like, because people's like, well, because we don't argue. We don't argue. We have discussions. We talk about whatever it is. We understand that each other's operating in our disagreements, because we don't always agree, even though we get along. For the most part we do, but we don't always agree or see like 100% on how things are going to be done. But we respect each other's opinion. We know each other's operating from a place of love and wanting the best for the other, and because of that. And like for me, when I feel like something's bringing me back to something in the past, I have a awareness of that. And so I like, hey, hold up, let me check this and not bring this into this. And because of that, we're good. But after being in a previous relationship where it was almost like a tit for tat, like, oh, let me throw this salt in your wound. Okay, and I'm gonna throw some gunpowder in your wound and blow you out. It was just back and forth in my past relationship. And so there's bringing that old stuff into, current situations, manifesting. And the thing is, we bring that with us because of a dominant thought, because of a dominant belief system that exists. And so when we talk about manifesting, it's in all areas of our lives. It's not just money. It's not just, a big house. It's not just, physical material things, but just manifesting, our spiritual connection to the Most High. Yeah, let's see. Deborah says, did you, did you resent her for opening those shadows? No. It was the best thing ever. Because, yes, Deborah says, did I resent her for opening or triggering my shadow? That was the best thing ever to ever happen in my life, because had that not happened, this wouldn't happen. We wouldn't be where we are today. Had that not happened in that past relationship, no, because that's one thing that you have to keep in mind, or at least the way that we function and flow, is everything that exists, good or bad, is to build us up for today. And so when a negative situation comes about, when a negative situation exists in our lives, that is a sign that we're out of alignment. That's a sign of us being out. It's not, oh, dang, this bad thing. Now, granted, I know there's some situations people be like, well, how? Somebody got hit by a car or something like that. I get that. But generally speaking, when negativity occurs in our lives, it speaks to us being out of alignment. And to the degree that we're out of alignment, the severity of the situation comes into play to put us in line, or to help, or when we're veering off of what our life's purpose is. Right. Yeah, and we can speak to countless situations like that, because and then us not taking heed, because the warning signs come up all the time. Go left, go right, go left, go right. And we're like, no, I'm going the other way. And boom. You're like, whoa. And so did I resent? No, I respect her. I love her even more, because that was what I needed to push me into this direction and what we're doing today. That's what pushed me into because my mentality at that time was all about the money. I got to go make the money. I got to go get it. I got to go get it at all costs. We got to make this move, hustling, grinding, and hustling and grinding. And I mean, that's, without my heart in it, I'm just doing it. I'm doing what I'm doing because I want to get paid, not because this is what I genuinely love and desire to do. This is, I'm living in God's purpose now. And so I thank her, every chance I got, like, thank you. Yeah, thank you for bringing that to me, showing me. Because like I said, there's three types of people that exist in our lives. There's our mirror reflections. There's our polar, our opposite. And then somebody that's like a blend of the two. And so she was my mirror. And most of the time, it's your mirror. You attract who you are. And so she was showing me myself. She was showing me the ugliness that was within. I'm a beautiful person, but it's just like the unresolved issues, what unresolved trauma looks like if you don't emotionally process it. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what she showed me. So no, I thank her. Oh yeah, I thank all my past relationships, because in those relationships I learned more about me, because they were all reflections of who I was in that time frame. We were reflections of each other in that time frame. And so from there, that's what allowed us to grow. Because if everything's always positive, 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 you're going to get to a point where there's nothing that pushes you further or helps you realize that you need to be pushed further. And then you just get stagnant at some point in time. And so you got to have, just like a battery. If there's no negative pole to it, there's nothing that's going to push you forward and create your power. And so negativity exists in our lives to help us, give us our power to move forward, to get to that next level, to get, to really grow. Yeah, and so, I grew. And I grew probably more in that relationship. My second marriage, I grew more in there than anything else. But that relationship was like helped me grow spiritually more than anything else. Yeah. Absolutely. What's up, man?
Nothing, just listening.
Oh, you was listening? So, the 4 ways to manifest. I was like Brother Man from the 5th grade. 4 ways to manifest. The 4 ways to manifest. Number 1, set the intention. You have to be intentional with what you want. You got to, because a lot of us just running around, our thoughts are all over the place. And guess what happens when your thoughts are all over the place? Your manifestation's all over the place too. Because if you're not locked in and focused, you're just going to keep going around in circles. And he's like, how come I'm not getting what I want? It's because you're always thinking about 50 million different things. We're constantly bombarded with Facebook, we're constantly bombarded with Twitter, constantly bombarded with IG, we're constantly bombarded with YouTube videos. What is it that we're spending our days internalizing, our daily schedule internalizing and bringing into, our psyche? Are we bringing in negativity, or are we bringing in positive things that support what it is that support our intentions of what it is we want to manifest? So we got to focus. Yeah, that's number 2. We got to focus. And like I said, that keeps us on a path of being able to manifest whatever we're going to do. Because what do they say? Faith without works is dead. And so we definitely got to stay on task. The next thing is position yourself to receive. You got to position yourself to receive whatever it is, the intentions that you've set, your focus moving forward. Now you got to be in position to receive that, because you've already put it out there. Boom. I put especially you write it down, put your word, voice it, and then, and then write it out and then lock in on that. And that's, your day is shaped by that to the point where your life becomes that. And then, once you position yourself to receive it, like, okay, I'm doing what I got to do. Now what's next? And now you have to step out the way and allow the universe to go on ahead and give it to you. Allow the universe to align itself to put you in position to have that. And so, because the universe wants to give us that. The Most High wants us to live in our best selves. The Most High wants us to live in abundance and have all that we deserve. But we have to believe it, number 1. We have to focus and lock in on what it is we want, number 2. Position ourselves so that we are able to have it and maintain it and flourish in it. And then number 3, we gotta let the universe do what it's gonna do. This is probably we have to be in a state of allowing. We have to be in a state of allowing. I was guilty of this. This is actually probably one of the more recent lessons that I've learned. And my beautiful queen, she's the one that helped bring me into the light. I was like, oh, let there be light. Hey, look, because I have a go-getter mentality. I've always had like a real bull mentality about going to get whatever it is that I got. It was something that was passed down to me. My dad at work at the fire department, they called him the overtime hog. So he's always going, get, go. What's up, baby?
But you had a stroke.
Yeah, I had a stroke.
Sounds like stress.
Yes. Crazy stress.
So that didn't serve you?
No.
Okay.
No, it hasn't. Because when we talk about that self-sabotaging behavior, those times when I had those financial failures, it wasn't due to lack of trying effort. No, It was because I was going about everything. Because, yes, you do have to take the steps to move forward towards whatever it is you want to manifest. But you can't ask the universe or ask the Most High for what it is you want and then be like, and don't let the universe align with what you're doing. So you take steps forward, but you can't be in such a control mentality like, okay, and you start doing things, you don't allow the universe to do its part. You don't allow things to align into place. You don't recognize the signs because you're so busy trying to go after, especially if your goal, isn't, if it's operating from a negative, if you're operating from a position of lack, and that's what it was. I was always operating from a position of lack. Like, I don't have enough. Like, oh, okay, and not believing whatever it is I was doing or whatever it is I already had was enough to achieve whatever it was that I was wanting to manifest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I never had enough money. I never had enough, whatever. It's just, and not being appreciative. And so that's where gratitude kicked in. And so because I wasn't grateful for what I had. And that stemmed from that lack of, that position of lack mentality. And so definitely that's something you want to make sure you allow the universe, you allow the Most High. Once you set the intention, the universe wants to give us what we want. But if we're not focused, we got to stay focused, And we have to position ourselves to receive. And number 3, once you set the intention and you're moving in that direction, the universe is going, we just keep moving. And the universe is going to start bringing it to us, but it has to align to make that happen. But if we're trying to force it.
Try.
Mm-hmm.
That's that word.
Yeah,
try.
We're sitting there trying to force it every day, trying to, function, and we're functioning, and when people force things, usually that's because they're operating from lack. I don't have enough, and I gotta, and no, you put in the hours, you put in the time, you make it happen, but you got to allow the universe to do it, do what it needs to do. And so Deborah says, set the intention. Yes, set the intention. Hold on. Yes, position yourself to receive. Absolutely, Deborah. Thank you so much. Yes, set the intention. Focus on what it is you want to achieve. Focus on that intention daily. That starts with that morning meditation. That starts with that reading of your list of what it is you want to accomplish, your goals for the day, your goals for the week, your goals for the month, and then position yourself to receive that. And look for the signs, and just really, like every day I look up, we wake up and we're looking for, okay, what are signs that things are falling into place? Because a lot of times we get so locked in on, or our minds are somewhere everywhere else because we're not focused, that we don't even realize that the universe is aligning for us, and we miss our blessing. And so that's what you want to make sure we steer clear of. And then be thankful, be grateful. Really, one thing that will block our position of gratitude is not forgiving or not exercising, operating from a position of forgiveness as well. So forgiving ourselves for past issues, and then forgiving for others. Because when we hold on to that will block our hearts too. And so we have to, in order prior to getting to all of this stuff, forgiveness. You have to act, you have to have forgiveness, because when you hold on to that, that's like poison. And it's poison to us because that's something we have to try to do. It's not something we naturally do. And so that forgiveness, if we're holding on to, past, past issues and stuff like that, and we haven't let those go, it's going to make it really hard to really flow in a position of gratitude. Yes. Let's see. Deborah says, I must say, coming up lacking either in emotional, spiritual, physical, fathers, mothers, etc., leave some in the sense of not believing they can actually receive. Absolutely. You preach it to the choir. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. And so when we know that we come from this, the task is right there. We know that we got to work on that. And what that looks like in our lives currently. How that shows up for us. And so absolutely, Deborah, yes, yes, yes. Because that subconscious underlying belief system is going to have an effect on our ability to attract what it is we want, in this time and space, in the present and in the future. Yeah. So you good, love?
Always good.
You good, love? Well, yeah. I guess that's it for today. Oh, well, no, we'll get to that next time. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, to everybody, happy Wednesday. Have a phenomenal hump day. Do it in a major way. Today, the chakra color of the day for Wednesday is blue. Blue, the chakra for communication. Mm-hmm. Yes. So call somebody that you ain't talked to in a long time. See how they doing. Have that tough conversation today, because you're more than most likely to have a positive outcome from that talk. Reach out to an old friend, tap into our childlike selves when everything was possible and what all your blue hearts. Yes. Blue, yes, that's the throat chakra, communication. Talk it up. Yes. Go communicate with somebody, your loved ones, or somebody you ain't talked to in a while. They'll be happy to hear from you. Especially, you know what?
What do we know?
If it's somebody that maybe y'all haven't talked because it was some bad, some bad blood or some situations that may not have been on the best terms. Today is the day. Go communicate. Go communicate. Go talk. Write a poem. You're gonna have the best flow. The energy of the planet, the energy of the stars, the moon. Everything is in support of communication on Wednesdays. So blue, and that's the color that keeps you in that space. That will really enhance anything you do communication wise today. Whether that's your Facebook post, whether that's whatever, the universe is supporting that. So, and then, if you on the West Coast and you just getting your day started, blue, that's going to attract. That's really going to help you live and get the most and attract the most energy, positive energy into your space. So yes, Wednesday, blue, communication. Talk with somebody. Tell somebody you love them. That's all, just communicate with your babies, anybody. Just, hey, I love y'all. And really, make it a day to reach out and touch someone, literally. All right, well, we love you all. Have a phenomenal Wednesday. Peace and blessings.